Good morning, McDowell.
And welcome to our first show of 2025.
We hope you all had a fantastic winter break and are ready to kick off the new semester with us.
And with that, it's time for our first trivia question of the year.
If you know the answer, give us a call at the number on your screen.
Time's up. Stay tuned until the end of the show to find out who won.
You know, it's always exciting to see a musical or play performed on stage.
Did you hear that a play is making its McDowell debut?
No, what is it called?
It's called The Laramie Project, and it's based on a real event in Laramie, Wyoming. It's definitely something you won't want to miss.
Sounds very intriguing. What event is it based on?
I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that Molly and Nora are in it. Let's go to them to find out more.
The Laramie Project, a play that will leave a lasting impact on any person who watches it. Produced by the Tectonic Theater Project, with the script being crafted from over 200 interviews, journal entries, and other found texts. This play will have you sitting on the edge of your seat waiting to see how it ends.
I selected the Laramie Project to do here at McDowell because this is the 25th anniversary of the play. Matthew Shepard was murdered in 1998, and this play premiered in Denver in February of 2000. So we are almost exactly to the 25th year anniversary.
This touching story can help remind us of how a simple action can impact so many different people.
I do think it will have an impact on students because it's about someone who is just a few years older than us, and I think it's a really touching story, and you can connect to it through multiple different characters.
In the Laramie Project, the community has experienced a lot of hate.
In my personal life, I've experienced a little bit, but obviously not as much as there can be. We all experience hate. It's something that is universal, and we'll all see it at some point.
Anyone who has heard about this play usually thinks it's about something different than what it actually is.
People usually talk about this play being about Matthew Shepard, but it's really about how the town responded to this homophobic attack and how the town responded to that and how the media responds to it. So this play is really about the fallout of a crime and how people work through, think through, and manage those situations.
We are Laramie, and we have our moments of fighting or hate, obviously, but it shows that we can overcome it and that we're not just our bad, like any conflicts we have, but also our good, our love, our community, our passion, all of that, and that can help us overcome this.
This play shows the importance of how one person's story can truly change how people think. It's a retelling of an important part of history that has impacted so many people. So if you would like to see what happened to Matthew and the fallout from the community of Laramie, come see it tonight and tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the Little Theater to see how impactful it truly is. From the Trojans News Network with video by Molly Batkevich, I'm Nora Lufer.
That looks like a good show. I love an important story.
Yeah, the Laramie Project isn't the only show that the CPA has to offer. Coming up next week is the musical Between the Lines, which will have shows on February 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Great, I can't wait to see these shows. You know, Jake, I've really been inspired by baking lately. Have you tried any new recipes recently?
No, I haven't, but I've heard that Eliza and Ava were working on something.
Let's head to the kitchen to see what they are cooking up.
The weather outside is still freezing, so you might want a baked treat to warm you up.
Some gluten-free cinnamon rolls will do the trick, especially for those with celiac disease like me.
First, you'll need to gather the ingredients.
We will be using Erin's Meaningful Eats gluten-free cinnamon rolls recipe. For this recipe, you'll need 4.5 cups of King Arthur gluten-free bread mix, 1 cup whole milk warm, 2 1/4 cups of instant yeast or 1 packet, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 2 large eggs, lastly, cornstarch for dusting, 1 1/4 cup of warm water. Don't forget about the icing.
Oh yeah, we almost forgot about the icing. For the icing, you'll need 8 ounces cream cheese softened, 4 tablespoons butter softened, 1 1/3 cup powdered sugar, and 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. For the filling, you'll need 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, 8 tablespoons of butter melted.
Once we have our ingredients, preheat your oven to 350 degrees.
Now let's start making the dough. This recipe requires a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. You're going to add the gluten-free flour, granulated sugar, instant yeast, salt, and baking powder. Mix evenly until the dough is combined.
Next, you'll need to mix in the wet ingredients. While the mixer is on low, start adding water, milk, eggs, and melted butter slowly. Turn it to medium speed and mix for 3 minutes until the dough is smooth.
Your dough should start to look thick like cookie dough.
Now, you're going to grab a spatula and oil it up to scrape down the dough to the bottom sides of your bowl. This makes it easier to get the dough out of the bowl.
Use plastic wrap to cover the bowl tightly. Put it in the refrigerator to chill for 20 minutes. Refrigerating the dough will make it easier to roll out.
After the dough has been cooled, take it out and put it on a surface that is lightly floured and shape it into a ball. We're using plastic wrap for easy cleanup.
Sprinkle the dough with a little bit of flour and roll the dough out into a 15 by 15 inch square pan.
Now, let's make the filling.
In a smaller bowl, mix together brown sugar and cinnamon.
Grease a 9 by 13 baking dish. You can use cooking spray or butter to oil it up.
After greasing the pan, spread some melted butter over your dough. This will help your filling to stick to the dough. Sprinkle the cinnamon sugar mixture all over the dough.
Use a pizza cutter. Cut it into 1.25 inch wide strips.
Now for the fun part. Flatten your dough and roll it into small cinnamon roll logs.
Then, you can place the logs into the 9 by 13 baking dish.
Cover the pan with plastic wrap or a towel and set it in a warm place to let it rise. Allow the dough to rise for 45 to 60 minutes.
Once they're done rising, we can start baking. Put them in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until they look slightly golden brown.
When they're out of the oven, let them cool for 15 minutes. While we wait for them to cool, let's make the icing.
In a bowl of your standard mixer, use a paddle or whisk attachment to beat the cream cheese until it has a smooth and creamy texture.
Now add the butter and beat until it's smooth. Then add in the powdered sugar and vanilla until the mixture is combined. We're done with the icing now.
Spread your icing onto the small cinnamon roll logs with a knife or spatula, and voila! You just made some delicious cinnamon rolls. Now it's time to enjoy those delicious cinnamon rolls. Cheers! Delicious.
Looks delicious, guys. I guess I'll have to go make those myself.
Yeah, I love cinnamon rolls.
Speaking of treats, Eric and I have a segment for you that puts a spotlight on the Blue Bean Cafe at McDowell.
Come with us as we look into the operations of this unique cafe.
At McDowell High School, the Blue Bean Cafe is more than just a place to grab a cup of coffee. It's a student-run operation that provides valuable, hands-on experience for students with disabilities. The cafe operates as part of the life skills classes at McDowell, teaching them important skills that extend far beyond the classroom. Miss Emily Kitcho is the head of the Blue Bean Cafe.
So I came up with a coffee cart system back in, I want to say 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, where we were making coffee in our classroom with Keurigs and delivering to teachers. And then Mrs. Means came to me as our assistant principal at the time and said that this space was available if I wanted to start turning it into a cafe. So now it has evolved into a functional-based job for our students to work at during the day. We are at the point where my students are 11th and 12th grade students, and I'm trying to get them ready for life after high school. So we are beyond the sitting and doing academics at our desk. So we're functionally reading or doing functional math. They come down here and make coffee. They bake the cookies. They prep everything. They sell everything. There's multiple jobs when we're selling, multiple jobs when we're prepping, and then there's an afternoon job every afternoon to clean up and prep for the next day.
The real-world experience obtained while working in the cafe assists these students with opportunities available after high school.
They can get a competitive employment job or they can do a volunteer job. So they might go to a work program, they might go to a volunteer's place, they might live in a group home, they might work at our project search program at Hammond. So these soft skills help them get prepared for that.
Ty Stahl, a student working at the cafe, enjoys providing his time to keep the operation going.
My favorite part is just doing what I got to do to get this done. Like either do dishes or hot coffee or a money box. That's what I like to do for my favorite jobs.
Blue Bean Cafe sells items midday during the tutorial period, which allows students and teachers to visit.
The thing I enjoy the most about Blue Bean is coming down here, getting the good vibes and high fives, and delicious meals back to back, and just the environment alone in the Blue Bean cafeteria.
By allowing for an open presence, this business also promotes connection and inclusivity with the rest of the McDowell student body.
So it's kind of like a reverse inclusion. So instead of students coming to my classroom and helping in my classroom, we are coming to you guys and to the regular ed population. So we are here in the community, in the school community, and you guys come to us. So it's perfect.
From TNN, with videography by Jacob Tilburg and Eric McMahon, I'm Eric McMahon.
I really enjoyed learning about how they run the cafe.
Same. I'll have to stop by for Hop a Cup Cocoa sometime.
Hey Eric, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm glad you asked. I'm celebrating my favorite holiday, Groundhog Day, by going to the free Groundhog Winterfest at Port Farms. The event includes wagon and sleigh rides, live music, contests, and more. Port Farms will run this event Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 9 and 12 to 8 respectively. What about you?
I'm hoping to go to the Erie Auto Show. Doors are open this weekend at the Bayfront Convention Center. Thankfully, the show is inside, so I don't have to worry about this cold weather we've been having recently.
I know, right? It's the perfect weather to curl up under a blanket with a good book.
Exactly. Do you have any good book recommendations?
Not that I know of, but I heard Mia was looking into some of the latest releases at a local bookstore, Werner Books.
Sounds cool. Let's see what they have to show us.
Have you ever been stuck inside with nothing to do on a snowy day? Well, how about reading a good book? But what book should I read, you may ask? Well, I researched some recommendations so you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm just like, next line.
I traveled to Werner Books to find what their bestseller books are. Werner Books and Coffee is a new and used bookstore located in the Liberty Center Plaza. Not only do they sell books, but they also sell coffee and pastries. There, I talked to Jillian, one of the bookstore's librarians, and I asked her what the most popular books for young adult readers are currently.
So out of our young adults, I'm looking at, right now especially, with Percy Jackson. Any of his series much go pretty well, especially considering we have the second season of the show coming out with the main actor being from Fairview and everything. We definitely like to promote it, especially around the times that it comes out. Another one is The Inheritance Schemes. So this one is kind of puzzly, mystery, wealthy family meets poor girl kind of idea. A couple others that we sell a lot of, I would say, would be Holly Jackson's series. So she wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, is also very popular. Now that they're turning these into shows on Netflix and things, it's becoming more of a regular thing to pick up. My personal favorite at the moment is The Prison Healer, which came out a few years ago. It's a young adult fantasy, so she's in prison with her father for a long time, and then she meets this person who helps her kind of escape almost. It's a very good book. It has 3 in the series, would be my recommendation. And then our first young adult release of the year is The Last Bookstore on Earth. It is an LGBTQ plus YA novel. It's dystopian, which means it's coming out, well, it came out, but it's about the future and what's coming next kind of idea.
Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, part of the Percy Jackson universe, and Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nelson. I'm Mia Coquette. Thank you to Warner Books for helping me with this video, and now back over to the desk.
Thanks, guys. I think I'll check out a few of those for myself.
Yeah, same here.
Before we go, it's time to announce a trivia winner.
The winner is...
Mr. Johnson and 6105.
Congratulations. Great work.
To finish off this episode of Trojans Today, we have a short video from our publishing media team. See you in February for our next show.
Goodbye.
In the McDowell Media Publishing Club, students can express their voices freely through a variety of writing styles, photography, and podcasting. Students have many options of things to write, including reviews, recipes, opinion editorials, features, and news articles. These articles are published on our student-run website, www.mcdowellmedia.org. If writing isn't your thing, take a shot at photographing sports events or other newsworthy events around the school. If you are a competitive person, McDowell Media is also the place for you. We offer 2 competitions a year with chances to win a state title or a personalized plaque.
Join McDowell Media Publishing today!